Since a youngin', now we dream of getting rich. Look at me, my nigga, fantasize about a white picket fence.
Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy Rah Trucker here again. I'm back in the building. Another video for you guys. So, today I want to talk about getting your CDL permit and getting your CDL license. A lot of people, they get too wrapped up on the hype around it. But I feel like if you go online and get the manual and you do your practice test, it's an easy thing to pass. You can go on, they have plenty of different websites where you can just go online and they have like a flashcard, index card type thing, and it asks you a question, give you multiple choices answers, and if you get the question wrong, it'll give you the correct answer. And I feel like that's the best way to do it, because you can go through each question and write down the question, and then when you answer it, you can write down the correct answer, because it's going to give you the correct answer if you answer wrong. Now you can read through the whole manual, and you need to know your general knowledge, your air brakes, and your combination. And you can worry about doing your pre-trip and all that after you get your permit. As far as your permit, those are the three main things you should focus on, because once you get wrapped up in worrying about, oh, I need to know my pre-trip and this and that, it's going to be too much going in your mind, and you can overstudy. Now, if you try to just keep cramming and cramming and cramming all this information in your head at one time, you're going to forget stuff. So the best advice I can give you is study one section a day, and the next day you go back, you study another section, and so on and so forth. Then, you know, keep it in a cycle. You go back to the section that you studied the first day. Now, the way I did it, I read through the manual. I read the general knowledge section, my air brake section, and my combination vehicle section. Then, after I felt like I had it down packed, I started doing my practice tests. I went to CDLpracticeprep.com. Truck and Truth has practice tests, and I just started doing practice tests. And each day I would get off work or on my lunch break, anytime I had any 15-20 minute break, I would just do a practice test. And a lot of these sites have it set up to where it's just giving you random questions, and most sites to do where you won't see the same question twice, so you can keep doing random questions over and over and over and over. And I would do a section a day. Like I said, I would do air brakes one day. I would sit there, I would go through the practice test while I'm on break, or when I get home I would study for about an hour and a half. Then I stopped till the next day, because I didn't want to cram too much, because I didn't want to forget anything. So by the time I got to school, it was stuck in my head, because I studied for at least a month before I decided to come to school. And some schools, they will give you permit practice help, but as far as Prime Inc really wants you to have the information down before you come, because when you come, you pretty much, you're signing paperwork, you're doing computer-based training on different things as far as safety, stuff like that, and they want you to be able to pass your permit test within your first 3 or 4 days. And after those 3 or 4 days, if you don't have your permit, I mean, it's not much they could do, because when you fill out your application and your recruiter calls you, your recruiter tells you that you need to go ahead and start studying. And please make sure before you decide to go to any truck driving school, it doesn't matter if it's Prime, CR, England, KLLM, CRST, please make sure you have your affairs in order, because I've seen too many people go to truck driving school and say, hey man, I got to truck driving school, I failed the piss test. Well, first of all, how do you fail a piss test if you know you're going to a truck driving school? If you know you've been doing any kind of illegal drugs, why even try to go to a truck driving school? Why not wait until you know you're clean and then try it? Obviously, if you going to a truck driving school and you fail your drug test, that's not what you had your mind on. It really wasn't, because, for instance, when I got here, my class, I had a class about I'll say 80 people, and by the end of the week, that class went down to 50 people, just off of people failing drug tests, lying on the application about misdemeanors, felonies, and stuff like that. I mean, if you know that you want to change your life and start a new career and make better money, make sure you have everything in order. So, now, to after you got your CDL permit, like I said, I studied for a good month, and when I felt like I was ready, I called my recruiter, said, hey man, I think I'm ready, I want to go ahead and get started. So he finalized my application, sent me a ticket. A week later, I was in class. My first day there, I started off, I did my computer-based training and stuff, filled out all my paperwork. Second day, I went to my permit test, passed with flying colors, man. And then it was on from there. So, once you get your permit, the next thing you should focus on is your pre-trip. And I'm probably going to get some bad feedback about this, but pre-trip is the biggest thing on your CDL test. I don't know exactly how many parts it is on the truck, but guess what? I passed my pre-trip, my first go around, and my backing and my driving. But if you don't study your pre-trip, you're not gonna make it to anything else, because they're gonna ask you, and they try to help you pass, because when you're doing your pre-trip, they'll say, okay, are you done with this section? And if you feel like you forgot something, tell them no, just go back and do it over again. And the way I did my pre-trip was, they gave me the paper. It was about 6-7 pages long of all the parts and the proper words you had to say, you know. I studied that pre-trip until the time I could take my CDL test. Like I said, you gotta hold your permit for 15 days until you can take your CDL test. So those 15 days I had my permit, no matter what, every day I studied my pre-trip. And I wouldn't study the whole thing. I would just work my way around. And they give you a little help on your pre-trip, but more so they want you to learn it by yourself. And after, I say about the 4th day of me studying this, I didn't have everything down packed, but I was close enough to where I could pass the test. And I kept on studying. Because if you get too comfortable and say, oh, well, I don't need to study no more, when the day of the test comes, it's guaranteed you're going to forget something. Because I've seen it done. I watched a couple people take their tests and forget stuff. Even I, after studying for 15 days, I forgot a couple things. Nobody's perfect. And I studied and I studied and I studied, and I felt like I had it, but I kept on studying. And it's just when you get down to it, you get nervous, and you can't let the thought of failing overwhelm you. So if you get too hung up on one thing about you gonna fail, it's gonna overwhelm you. So I studied for 15 days on my pre-trip, got it down. When my test day came, I woke up early, I was ready. I went out there, I did what I had to do. And even to now, I'll still be thinking about properly mounted and secured, because that's the main thing you gotta know. Properly mounted and secured, not crack, bent, or broken, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. That shit gets stuck in your head. You say it so many times, and that's the thing. You have to say this stuff out loud to remember, because if you just read it on that paper, you're not gonna remember it. So I did my pre-trip. Pre-trip went by with a breeze. Then I had my backing. Let's see, the backing maneuvers. You can either get, well, first you're gonna get a straight line back. You have to do a straight line back. Straight line back is easy. Back it all the way through the lane, keep it inside the cones. Simple. Then you get either a offset back to the left, offset back to the right. Piece of cake. They will help you with this. When you get in training, they're going to help you with your offset back and to the left and right. So don't worry about that. I'm just speaking. Then, after you do your offset, left or right, you're either going to have a parallel to the right, a parallel to the left, or an alley dock, which I had an alley dock. I had a straight line back. I had a offset to the left, and I had an alley dock, which alley dock came easy to me because I was a jockey driver, people. Backed it right in there. You get 3 get out and looks, 2 pull-ups. I mean, use them. They call it gold, get out and look. And when they tell you use those 2 get out and looks, 2 is it 2? I think it's 2. 2 or 3. I think it's 2. 2 get out and looks. And just use them. Even if you feel like you have it in there and you're straight, just use it. It's there for the using, so use it. So after I did my backing, moved on to my driving test. Your driving test, they're gonna be watching you to make sure. Some states don't do this, but I know Missouri does. They want you to double clutch. They want to make sure you know how to double clutch. So they watched me double clutch, made sure I could double clutch, made sure I put my hands back. I went back to the home position, which is my hand, both hands on the wheel, foot not on the clutch, not riding the clutch, foot is on the floor flat. And they watched for that. They watched to make sure you're checking your mirrors every 6 or 7 seconds, and make sure you're looking ahead. They check to make sure you're reading your signs. They will ask you what was the posted weight limit across a bridge or overpass. They will ask you what was the speed limit on a ramp that you turned off on, stuff like that. They're watching to make sure that you're keeping the proper follow distance and all that. And during your driving test, you're gonna have to do what's called a safe stop, where you have to downshift your truck down to 6th gear, pull over to the side of the highway safely, and stop. And take your truck out of gear, pop your brakes, put on your 4-way flashes. Then they'll get you pull off. After that, you just ride down the road. They might ask you a question here or there, but mostly they're trying to make sure you maintain a good following distance, you're watching your surroundings, and you're not speeding. I finished my driving test in about 30 minutes. Headed back. When I headed back, they tallied up my score, gave me my score. I got 3 points on my drive, matter of fact. 3 points. And I got my 3 points because when I stopped at a stoplight, I stopped too close to the line, and they gave me 3 points for it. So I get back, They tallied up all the points. They told me, hey, you passed with flying colors. And took me in the little office, got me to sign my papers, sent me on my way, told me to go to the DMV, handle my paperwork, get my CDL. It was like that. I think I started my testing at about, 8 o'clock maybe? And then I was done with the whole process by maybe 10 o'clock. And headed to the DMV to get my license. And I went, celebrated, went got me something to eat, got a good meal. Hey man, I'll come back and holler at y'all again. Just wanted to give y'all that little bit of information. I'll be hollering at y'all, man. Rah the trucker, representing the YTTA, man. Better check them out on Facebook. Please like and subscribe. If you don't, no hard feelings, but I appreciate it if you do.
Since a youngin', now we dreamed of getting rich. Look at me.